The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences. I know we're usually talking about kids' cartoons and stuff, but there's going to be naughty language. Anyway, listener discretion is advised. Let's do this then.
Let's do it.
So I can go eat breakfast, because I'm hungry as fuck.
What you gonna eat for breakfast?
I don't fucking know. Lucky Charms, probably.
Just eat the marshmallows since they sell it. Just pour the marshmallows in the fucking milk.
I'm not a barbarian.
That's what I would do. Just cut out the middleman.
It's every kid's.
Yeah, cut out the middleman, get rid of the oat shit. Fucking eat the marshmallows.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast for this week. My name is JD, and it is too early for this shit. But I'm here with my good friends, Mr. Kyle.
Well, at least you got a full night's sleep. And me and Matt here haven't slept. Well, maybe Matt.
I was not napping on and off. Oh yeah, and I'm Matt. Before JD tells you all who I am, I'm just gonna butt right in.
There you go.
Butts. Yeah, so we are gonna be talking about Aggretsuko Season 3 today. On Netflix about a week or so ago. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I don't know if I like this season as much as I liked the last one. I don't know how you guys feel, but kind of seeing Aggretsuko gets into because she joins a girl band, an idol group this season, and shenanigans ensue.
Yeah, which is a decent idea for a season, especially given the because it's set in Japan. It's made in Japan and everything, so it's not too out of the ordinary to see a plot line like this. I think maybe some people might be confused at well, maybe not, because girl groups and everything, those are everywhere. But like specifically the whole idol culture and everything else, maybe
yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah, so it maybe with people like us that are like kind of entranced in the nerd shit. We know what idols are. I think maybe your average Netflix viewer, like American Netflix viewer, might not. But I think there's enough like music sort of know-how there that I think they can kind of get the general idea.
Yeah.
Though I do want to say, just because I was obviously not a part of the show when you guys talked about seasons 1 and 2 of the show.
Yikes.
Or the Christmas special.
Well, no, I was here for the Christmas special.
Oh, yeah.
Not the time you talked about the Christmas special on the episode of this about the season, but the separate one that we did later that we found out that you guys already talked about.
Well,
Yikes.
when has that ever stopped us?
Well, anyway, since then, because I can't remember exactly what I said on that episode, but I did. Okay, anyway, I don't remember what I said on that episode, but just to reiterate, before watching season 3 of this show, I had watched season 1 multiple times when it came out. I started season 2 when it came out, and I got like 3-4 episodes in, and I got sidetracked. I never got around to finishing it, so I had to go through. I just watched through the entire show when I watched season 3. I watched season 1, then I watched season 2, then I watched season 3, just to give myself a refresher, watch all the stuff I hadn't watched, and then watch all the new stuff.
It's super
it took
quick.
you
You
an
can
hour
do
and
it
a
in a
half?
fucking day.
Well, because it's like a little less than 2 hours per season. I was just doing it like once per night, so I watched season 1 one night, that's season 2 the next, and season 3 the night after that.
Yeah, because I completely forgot watching this season that the episodes are only like 15 minutes long. They're not even like a full 22 minutes.
Yeah,
but what's great about it, I think, is it feels a lot longer, which is weird.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're watching a movie essentially, like each season.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think like the last episode actually is double length, from what I remember. But yeah, for the most part, I think all the episodes are usually right around that typical, like 11 to 15 minute mark.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you were saying that you didn't enjoy this season as much as the other ones.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with how it ends, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
What did you think of? Well, okay, so what did you guys think of season 2 in comparison to season 1? Did you prefer it?
Loved it.
I think season 2 is probably my favorite season so far.
That seems to be
Yeah.
the general consensus I've been seeing online. Because I basically watched season 2 for the first time, right next to watching season 3 for the first time. I'm not really sure which season I enjoy more, but yeah, I've been seeing the general sentiment is that people don't enjoy season 3 as much, though. Yeah, and I think that has to do a lot with kind of like where it's ending off. But I think as far as the whole season goes as a whole, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoy the show as a whole.
For me, the reason why I didn't really like this season, and to say I didn't like it isn't saying that I thought it was like absolute shit. I still enjoyed the show. I liked it. It's still good. It's just watching this show, you kind of want the whole office stuff, and this it like takes you completely out of that. So a lot of the characters that they built upon and stuff like this, they kind of get sidetracked. They get pushed in a corner. So that was kind of a reason why I didn't really like the season too much. Because like the lizard lady, Sabone, you don't even see her this season. Kaibai, you don't really see much this season. It's just all these characters that you kind of got to know, they're just like sidetracked on it. And even the new guy, forgot his name.
Anai.
Yeah, that guy. Anai, he kind of got sidetracked, but season 2, after his like little arc, you start, oh, this character's kind of cool, and then this one, they kind of touch on it, and then they just kind of leave him. So that
I like the little
like,
jokes they make about that. They're like, he kind of dips back into that personality just like a little bit here and there for like jokes, where he's like, this is why I send emails and shit like that.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, and that was the thing too, is when I tried to initially watch season 2 and it came out, I dropped off like right around when Retsuko was about to start driving school, so Anai was still a very antagonistic character, and so not long, like I think the episode right after that's when it kind of turns around and Kabai kind of flips his personality around, which was nice to see. But I kind of had it in my mind. I was like, oh, I got to go around to finishing that. I think like he's going to be the kind of the bad guy for like the whole season. It might overtake Tone. But yeah, that kind of subverted my expectation. But it definitely is a departure from what we've seen so far. It's like you said, completely taking it out of the office environment. We do see it still here and there, but yeah, we do miss out on a lot of characters. Like I think we don't even see Tsunoda like until like the third to last episode of the season. Like when it was funny because it was right around like the episode just before she showed up, I was like, we haven't seen Tsunoda like at all, I think. And then like she popped up and she had like her little love detective thing, which was fun.
Yeah.
And then but we do get introduced to like a lot of fun characters, we're talking about the whole idol group, them, their manager, a new love interest for Haida named Inui.
Inui,
yeah.
Little, she's like little cocker spaniel or something.
Her dog, or her name literally means dog. Inu.
Does it really?
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, and then one thing I thought was kind of cool is, I don't know if he's voiced anything officially, but the manager guy was Sungwon Cho, if you guys knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It doesn't even sound like him at all. Do you know who that is, JD?
Yeah.
I must have been talking to somebody else about this, but I think I was talking to Gary about it. But yeah, he mentioned that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen him like on Tumblr like way back, and I guess he's like doing like actual voice work nowadays, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it says right here he does stuff in Borderlands. He was in OKKO. That's kind of neat. So that's pretty cool. He's actually doing stuff.
Yeah, good for him. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I like the I like the whole. I get that they kind of strayed away from the office drama setting, but I kind of like and think kind of makes a little bit of sense the way this one kind of drifted into like, oh, Retsuko's kind of forced into helping out a local idol group, and then like eventually ends up joining the idol group. And I think it makes sense because like, you know how Retsuko like, you know, does her solo karaoke thing. So it was interesting to finally see her like get up on a stage and like, you know, do her metal screaming.
Her
and
death
kind of-
voice, as they call it.
Yeah, her death
Yeah.
voice. I feel like they kind of like started a little subplot of like her making YouTube videos, teaching people how to do that, but like I feel like they didn't like do too much with it.
I think they had just enough there for it to be relevant to the plot. It didn't really need to go too in depth about that. They just needed it there for people to kind of find out who she was.
Yeah, that was just to set up Tone finding out who it was.
He's not cool because he's
and also OTM finding out like that she could do the voice and stuff too. That was another one. I think there might have been another instance of somebody else connecting the evidence and stuff, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Did we find out what OTM stood for? The name of the idol group was OTM.
It was the area they were in. They
it's like an abbreviation of yeah.
I forget what it was, but it was right where the karaoke place was.
Okay.
Yeah, just their area of town.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the new characters that they like, I like the manager a lot, but then the idol group, it was just like kind of twins in a sense, where you have two characters acting as one. It was like the two backup kind of acted as one character in a sense.
They're like hamsters, right?
Yeah. And then the chinchilla one.
Monica.
Chinchilla one was cool. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't a bad season. It was just not my favorite one.
Yeah.
And that's fair. Yeah, like not a bad season by any means, but I can see why people wouldn't enjoy it as much as maybe some of the other seasons. And I think a lot of it too is well, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say I mean that is definitely something that could get in somebody's craw for sure. We'll touch on that in a little bit. But I feel like maybe the show is starting to kind of show its formula a bit. Especially when you kind of factor in like how the season ends and everything. Just like, you know, there's now that we're 3 seasons deep, this is what we know what to expect. Like if we get a season 4, basically there's going to be strife in Retsuko's workplace. She's going to get into some drama outside of it. She's going to have a love interest at some point. It's not going to work out. She's going to end up back at the office by the end of the season.
Yep.
And the status quo is returned.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely more noticeable here given the events of how this season ends, because it's they go a little bit darker, way more darker actually than they have yet.
So I thought it was like interesting, but also kind of weird that they kind of went the route of you know, there's a guy that's been attending all the idol concerts, and apparently he gets mad when Retsuko joins, up until the point where he like becomes a creepy stalker and eventually tries to murder her
with a box cutter. Yeah,
with a box cutter, because Japan doesn't have guns.
Well, it's funny. I went to a Japanese store the other day, and those box cutters are like $1. They're so fucking cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sharp enough to draw blood.
Yeah, I mean, a box cutter will do that.
Yeah, man.
So, let's talk.
I think my favorite part of this season. Oh wait, sorry. What was that?
Go on.
Sorry, just the Discord's fraying everyone a bit. What I really enjoyed about the season, and I can't remember if I mentioned it in the Christmas episode that I was a part of, but I do really enjoy Haida. I know he is basically like your quintessential simp, but I
Haida
really,
is such a fucking simp.
but I love him. I love that simp.
Okay,
But I
I
feel
just
like he
wanna
got
say-
he got a lot of really cool moments this season.
I don't
Dude,
know if you guys can call him a simp because you don't know how her pussy game is. You don't know. It might be amazing. It might not be mediocre. It might be the fucking greatest shit.
Yeah, but he doesn't know either.
Yeah, that's a fucking gamble.
I personally do not understand the love for Haida because I find Haida highly problematic.
Problematic just in the way of like
I just find his character problematic because, like, he's still pining after Retsuko after 3 seasons. He's been rejected twice now. And I guess we can talk about it now. I really do not like how this ends. Cause like I get his sentiment for what he does when, like, you know, after Retsuko's been almost attempted murdered, she kind of like shuts in for a couple weeks and like isn't going to work, is hanging out with her parents.
well, also don't skip over the fact that Haida saves her from the attacker.
Yeah.
Right. But she's, you know, in this depression and stuff, and he like he busts in her parents' house, drags her out, takes her to karaoke and says, "Hey, I'm in love with you. We need to be together." And like they do like their karaoke battle where he like kind of shits on her in his end, like calling her a chicken and like basically telling her to get over it and go back to work. And I'm like, bruh, she went through a traumatic event like a week ago.
I've seen a lot of people that have been pointing that shit out too. And honestly, like, I get it. Like, yeah, that definitely could be viewed as problematic, but I feel like you have to kind of take into consideration where this, yeah, you have to take into consideration where the show is being made too. I feel like a lot of the tropes and stuff that we see in here, a lot of people still need to remember that it's like it's a Japanese show. There's a lot of Japanese like sensibility inside of it.
Well,
so I feel like a lot of the stuff that that takes place here is probably maybe not commonplace, but at least like as far as media is concerned, like I think you see this a lot like in anime and like probably dramas and stuff.
But what kind of like further bothered me, and I get there's cultural differences between us and Japan, but what kind of further bothered me with that scene is that like when they're having their karaoke battle, Retsuko in her end still tells him to kind of fuck off, like, you're not here to tell me how to run my life, and like kind of rejects him again, but then Haida like busts in again and like, you know, we can take on the world together. And I know it's not really definitive, but I kind of took the last back at work and they're talking, like I kind of took that as them being together now, and I'm like, no, I don't like that. I don't think, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, like, he's like good boy Haida, and like Retsuko just needs to give him a chance. And I'm like, Haida just needs to learn when no means no. I mean,
you also got to realize too is that her best friend is also trying to help him out. So she knows what's going on with her, and she is actively helping him out too. So she's telling him, hey, she's still kind of interested and that kind of shit. She's playing wingman for him, and she kind of knows. So I'm pretty sure
she's an enabler.
Well, I'm just saying, if she knew that she wasn't into him, she would say so in that sense.
I don't know. I just really liked Haida and Inui's relationship this season. I thought they like worked really well together, and like Inui was like very clearly into him. She even says so much. And basically it's just like, look, dude, if you want this to work, I'm down, but like you clearly got some shit with Retsuko still, so you need to sort that out.
I think it was
and
just very unfortunate circumstance that kind of definitive moment happened just after Retsuko got attacked.
it did,
uh,
but
yeah.
like, I just,
I
don't
honestly
know.
felt that Inui kind of overreacted with the whole handkerchief thing. 'Cause I thought that whole situation was a little fucked up.
I
But-
don't know. I feel like if you're like into a guy and you go over to his apartment for this first time and he has another girl's stuff in his house, I feel like, obviously I'm not a girl and I'm married. I feel like that'd be a little suspect.
Yeah, but it's a handkerchief. You don't even know. Could have been his. You don't know. It had an initial on it, but
It's a pink handkerchief left in the bathroom. I mean, she might as well just left her underwear there.
Well, and also
Could've
because
been-
Retsuko
could've
was
been his
walking
mom.
away from that direction.
Yeah, so
She
yeah, they
doesn't know her,
cross
though.
paths.
No, well, does she
probably
not?
I
thought
feel
they
like
started
I
seeing each
feel
other in
like
the office.
I feel like she's seen her at work. So
that was like the first time you seen her, and Retsuko wasn't around. The first time you see her.
Hmm.
I don't know.
That's where it's like, I don't know, man.
I think maybe she should have asked about it rather than just piecing out immediately.
Yeah, she.
But I don't
I
think
feel
that
like-
her suspicion is.
I feel like
unfounded.
if she would have asked about it, Haida would have made it infinitely worse. So
That's
it's probably
true.
for the best.
Haida does
It
have
was-
foot and mouth syndrome.
It wasn't even a romantic thing, though. He was just helping her learn a guitar.
Yeah,
That's what
but
bothered
she doesn't
me.
know that, and Haida
She
would
had
have
a
been.
fucking guitar with her when they saw each other.
Maybe they're doing sexy guitars.
Nah, I don't know.
I don't know. I just think Haida needed to, get over it
So-
and like take no as an answer, and like I just don't like the direction his character
So
went
here's
in.
the real question. I was thinking about this at work. We've seen a bunch of couples in the cartoon before, but have they actually had interspecies couples, married, whatever? Have they ever shown that in the show? Because if you look at
not that
Kabai, she has a male hippo, and that's her husband. And then Retsuko's mom definitely. They've never shown the dad, but I think it's
More likely
definitely
than
Red
not.
Panda.
And obviously
Yeah.
Tone has pig wife and pig children.
Yeah, so that was one thing I was wondering.
I don't know as far as not the children thing, but I know that there was the bit in I think season 2 where there's like like one episode where they were showing like Retsuko knows some people that are getting married, and like it's the cat and the mouse getting married, and then they break up at the airport, but then they get back together by the end of the episode. And it's just stuff you hear about like on the phone and stuff, but that's the only other really instance I can think of.
Huh.
But they do make a
That is
little
true.
bit of a deal about that too, because they're talking about how like there's complete opposites. You think they wouldn't work and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. So I never really thought about the interspecies angle. I don't know that's.
They're cute little animals. I'm sure it's not something they think about.
It's
Well, that's
yeah.
the thing. Well, I don't know. That's the thing because maybe before season 3, I would agree with that. But seeing how they're like dipping into like a lot more darker subject matter, I could honestly see them kind of leaning into that.
So
I don't want
the
them to try to animate a Retsuko sex scene.
Not
So
that.
the other thing I'm wondering about, since they actually haven't shown her father yet, what if season 4 drops and her dad ends up being a hyena, and that's why she has her hang-ups on dating him?
Retsuko's just a little racist.
Yeah, let me call that now. Calling it now since we've never seen her dad. Right now, fucking watermark this shit. I don't know.
All right.
Calling it.
Okay, that's an interesting theory.
Kyle, I will pay you $5 American if that turns out to be true.
I'll get
That's
in on
what
that
happens.
action. I'll put $5 down.
and we'll have it on record here, and everyone will have to hold us to it.
This podcast is binding.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think on the whole, I like this season. It's just like I feel a lot of that last bit just kind of bothered me and maybe spoiled the season for me a little bit. But I do think there's a lot of good stuff in here. I like her whole time with the
OTM.
with OTM. I do kind of feel bad that like she gives it up at the end to just go work back at the office, but status quo and all that. So
I feel like
I did kind of like the theme of like the manager and the lead singer of the girl group. It kind of shows that like they're trying to make this idol thing work, and it's like obviously what they prefer to be doing, but because they can't,
we do see their day jobs.
Yeah, like Monica works in a convenience. What were you saying?
Who?
You.
Oh, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, I thought you were interjecting.
Nope.
Well, yeah, I just I like that it showed that like even though they have to work these day jobs, they're trying to make their real passion a reality, and like trying to do that on the side until they can make it their full-time thing, which I think as artists we can understand that.
Well, especially I could definitely, and see, that was another thing too. Why I really enjoyed this season is because of all them leaning into a lot of like music related subject matter. And speaking, I've talked about on the show before that I've been in bands and I've played shows and done records and all that type of shit. So I'm like very familiar with like a lot of the stuff that happens in the season, and it was very, very neat to see. And I think that's, yeah, like them having to work their day jobs to kind of support their dreams and stuff, and. Yeah, it's definitely very relatable.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. There's just some stuff at the end that I changed.
Well, I was thinking not only did her getting attacked, but I feel that Tone's speech kind of put things into perspective on why she quit. Because it seems like every season so far, Tone has a speech and kind of tells her like, is this really what you want to do? And she kind of realizes, like, oh shit. That's why I like him as a character. He's a fucking asshole, but he'll get real with her.
He's Daddy Tone.
And that was the other thing I meant to bring up when we know what to expect from each season now, is that, yeah, there's at least one heart-to-heart between Retsuko and Tone.
Yeah. I love him. He's so cool.
He has the same voice actor as Roadhog. I love him.
Is it?
Yeah, he's like typecast as pig characters, I guess.
That's funny.
At least in the English dub, he does.
That's fucking great. I didn't know that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we start wrapping up here?
I think we needed more gory. She didn't get too much spotlight. I like her too. She's one of my favorites.
I did like the bits that we did see of Gori and Rashimi this season, though. In addition to last season too, because I watched it for the first time along with us. I did like seeing their interactions with some of the other characters aside from Retsuko as well.
I liked watching Goro and Haida get drunk.
That was funny. Yeah.
their whole side adventure.
So I was thinking too.
I think the
whole shipping bullshit. I could see Gori going with Tadano, since both of them seem to be technology savvy.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Tadano came back too.
I was kind of expecting that at the end, but no, not yet.
That's the thing too.
That would definitely be a fun route.
Yeah, but she's 40 something, and I think he's like 29. So that would be fucking weird. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, fine.
That's absolutely a thing that maybe a cultural thing too. It was funny. I have a friend that's watching through the show for the very first time, and he's been chiming in with me here and there. And he mentioned that in season 2, when they're showing the prospective men for Retsuko to like court or whatever, the polar bear dude is like 10 years older than Retsuko. And like I didn't notice that at all. That. And he said that was the very first thing you noticed. And yeah, that was just something that kind of skipped my mind. But yeah, I guess that's not really an uncommon thing over there, I guess.
True.
So old.
I don't know if that's
but
male,
yeah,
though. Like I don't know how that's seen. Well, I don't know how that's seen male to female, but having it female to male.
Yeah, I even kind of feel like even probably in our culture, it seems like in some instances it can kind of be seen as creepy depending on how old the people are, but it's more, I feel it's seen as more acceptable for an older man to be with a woman that's a little younger, but not so much if the woman is like significantly older.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another reason why Gory and Adano could work, because if you got an older female with a younger male, and then because I know the whole thing with Adano is that he's not really into the idea of like marriage and kids and stuff. I don't believe at this stage Gory is either. I mean, she's a little long in the tooth, but
she got fucking told by Washimi that she is not marriage material. Yeah. That is fucked up.
It is what it is.
Poor gorilla lady.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the side characters go, like, yeah, it's unfortunate that some of them get sidelined, but I feel like the ones that we still do get to see in this season, there's still a bunch of really good material there, new and old. And then, of course, like I mentioned, there's a lot of really good Haida moments that I enjoyed. And so you were asking earlier, like, why people enjoy Haida as a character, and I can tell you, at least from my standpoint, it was like in season 1, like near the end of it, when I saw that he played bass, I was just like, I'm in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, what's it called? Self-insert to him or whatever.
Probably.
They really, what's the word I'm looking for?
Identify with him?
They relate to him, identify. Yeah, I mean, I identify with him mainly because of his style. He looks exactly how I dress.
Yeah.
Talks kind of like me. Kind of an asshole. I don't know. That's how I
literally you.
Yeah.
I don't. Other than maybe some musical taste stuff, I don't really identify with Haida. But he's just not for me, I guess.
Yikes!
Everyone out there should kin Haida.
I don't stan Haida. In fact, I kind of whatever the opposite of standing something is.
Probably anti-stan.
Anti-stan.
Maybe.
The anti-stan.
JD, the anti-stan man.
Yeah, there you go. Well, all right then. There you go, guys. There's our thoughts on Aggretsuko Season 3. Let us know in the comments, on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on our Discord, what you think of this episode, what you thought of this season, and what you think Retsuko's dad is going to be. Place your bets now. Yeah. So everybody, thank you for listening. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you all again next week with another episode.
See ya.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.